What up?
You're a leader.
I'm a leader, allegedly.
How many people you lead? Like, I think like 50, something like that.
Close to it. We're growing.
Hypothetically speaking, if I'm in your organization, right? Give me 5 skills that I would need to get promoted into a leadership role.
Here's the first skill, seriously.
Okay.
Self-awareness. Skill number 2. And that's being coachable.
Okay.
So the next part, knowing what you're willing to risk.
Okay.
Number 4.
Okay.
You gotta know the lingo. Fifth and final tip, man, you gotta know your industry. I think here's the first skill. In my opinion, in my amateur opinion.
Okay.
Now I'm a professional, I'm a thought leader now, you know what I'm saying? You know, so.
Thought leader.
You know, here's the first skill, seriously.
Okay.
Self-awareness.
Okay, I think I got that.
The first thing that you have to do to be in a position to get promoted,
right,
is you have to know your role.
Ooh.
And I think sometimes what I see is some people, they want to get, you know, they want to do somebody else's position, right? Like you can't be a center fielder, right?
Right.
And you're trying to play shortstop.
That's true.
Right,
True.
like you out of position.
Right.
Right. So, you got to be self-aware and know that your position or doing your position well is the most important thing on the team.
Okay. I look at that. I'm gonna go down the rabbit hole a little bit because I dealt with this, right? So like in football, high school football, I always talk about Avondale football team. I'm gonna put this out here, bro. I wanted to play fullback.
Okay.
Cause you know,
my fullback,
bro.
They don't even have fullbacks anymore.
I know, man. But back then I wanted to play fullback because I knew I couldn't be a running back. I wasn't fast enough.
Okay, got you.
You know what I mean?
Got you.
But I was a little big. I just wanted to run the ball. I knew I was quick, but I wasn't fast. You know what I mean? But I ended up playing center. I knew I wasn't going to college off that position. And then I played linebacker. And I never told nobody this. The reason I quit football, because I never got a chance to run the ball.
Really?
I'm gonna say that was one of the main reasons. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I was looking at other people's positions, but that just wasn't my skill set.
Dang.
Yeah.
Dang.
So, you know, here it is. I'm being hunted every day because I did not put forth effort in the position I was playing. You know what I mean? So I ain't get promoted there.
Yeah. Well, you answering your own question if I would hire you, right?
I mean, we already knew that though.
I think that's the first skill.
Right.
Is being self-aware and like honestly, like just knowing, okay, like you talked about, and it's tricky though because sometimes people they know that they're not, you know, the best at whatever, right? But they feel like they should, you know, they feel like they should have that other position on whatever part, like, because maybe one day when when something gets rotated, okay, you do get a chance to play fullback, and you know, like for example, like today, we had Quattro game,
right?
And Quattro don't play running back,
right?
Normally they have him at receiver. It's like flag football, right? But a couple of players were out at practice. He had to fill in that role, and he got some reps at the running back position,
right?
And today they designed a play for him to get the ball.
Some boy out there,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just, and that's sometimes that's how it goes. But like, if you don't play your position, you never get to the point where, you get a chance to experience something different,
right?
Because you ain't doing what you need to do.
On the self-awareness piece, man, like if I'm under you, right, and I say I want to play your position, but I ain't focused on my position, what did that show you? Like, you being my leader?
It depends. Is it the first time this happened, or is this like a reoccurring thing?
I guess it's reoccurring, man, because I'm anxious to get there. You see what I'm saying? What does that show you?
That shows me skill number 2.
What is that?
And that's being coachable.
Okay.
Because
now I know I had problems in this area. I'm better now, the older I get. But yeah, go ahead.
But yeah, like being coachable, for me, it's probably one of the top things. Cause like I could like, if you don't have the skill, like if you don't have a lot of the other things we're gonna go through today, we can kind of work around that stuff, right?
Right.
But we can only work around that stuff if you're extremely coachable.
Makes sense.
You know?
Makes sense.
I got a guy that I advised him on what he should do with his career.
Right.
And he ended up getting promoted before his peers, and he's he ended up being one of the top. He just got into this position, and one of the top people at that position
Right.
in his first month
Right.
at that role, right? And it's about being coachable, man. It's about like you gotta take the advice that your leaders are telling you to do, and you just gotta do it at the end of the day, regardless of how you feel about it. Because there's plenty of things that I ain't want to do. I'm being honest with you.
See, you said something key. So let me go back to number one, then come back to number two. Because before you even get to number two, you got to know your role, right? And play your part. If you're struggling in learning your role and playing your part, even mastering your role, I'm assuming as your leader, I'm going to see that you have some discipline issues.
Yeah.
You can't focus on knowing your part.
Yeah, and you think that when you get to that other part, everything's just gonna line up and it's gonna just work out perfectly. And it don't work that way. It don't work that way.
I think we talked about this too on another podcast. Me wanting to get in a higher position and not really focusing on my role can be one or two things, two issues. First issue, I'm looking at the higher position it's really a distraction because I don't want to master this role.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's uncomfortable.
Yep.
This ain't where I should be anyway. I don't want to get to do all this stuff to learn to master my role, so I should be able to get promoted to this role. But it really don't work like that.
Yeah, you got two type of people. You got two type of people, man. People that run from something,
Right.
and people that run to something.
Oh,
Like I'm gonna tell you, bro. Like that's the difference between, again, like if I got somebody that's running towards something, running to something, they're gonna be willing to do whatever they have to do in that moment of whatever situation they in.
Right.
They're gonna do whatever it takes. But the people that are running from something,
Right.
they just trying to figure out a way to get out. Right.
Get away from it.
And especially when I'm doing like interviews, like it's very clear when people are running away from something.
Oh, come on, man. This is a tip.
So
Because we got people interviewing right now.
right now, right?
Like, you know what I mean?
now.
Like, you can see it in the interview.
Yeah. And that's just the reality, man. Like you cannot like not like this thing about this current place that you're in,
Right.
and think that you're gonna go to this next place and you're gonna like it.
Yeah, that's true.
It doesn't work that way. So
true.
To all my doobies out there,
Doobies!
right? Like you have to master the spot that you're in now,
Right.
and be coachable. Again, know your position. Just ain't gonna, I don't know how to put it another way. It just ain't gonna work.
You're making a lot of sense.
If you don't do it that way.
Because I'm glad we're doing this, because I can only imagine you being my leader. You see that I'm trying to run away from this. You see that clearly it's something that I'm trying, like you say, if I had the discipline, then I would learn to master my current role. But you being my leader now see that I don't have the discipline. So why would you want to coach me? I can't even get past the gate to get a promotion.
And that's another thing too,
Right.
right? Man, and I heard our GM say this like years ago. He was like, when you get to the point where your leader is not like coaching you,
Right.
you should be concerned.
Ooh.
Because at that point, they like, man,
Done with you.
You're not doing that.
No hope for this guy.
You're not. No, it's over with. It's over with. Like, why would I waste my? I know we've had these conversations over and over and over again.
Right.
Why would I continue to try to get you to? Because, and this is again, it's something I continue to have to learn.
Right.
Is you cannot change people.
Okay. Yeah.
You can't change people. That's only something God can do.
Yeah, that's
right.
That's true.
And sometimes you just gotta like, it just is what it is. Let me get your replacement in the nicest way. In the nicest way, because I don't give you ample. We don't did coaching. We don't did everything. We don't did assessments.
Right.
I've been indirect about it. I've been direct about it.
Right.
I've done all these things. Let's find you another seat on the bus.
Okay. So do it, BC. Have the self-awareness to be disciplined in what you're doing, because your leaders are looking at you. They can tell if you're coachable or not. If you're not coachable, no promotion. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Okay, so I have self-awareness.
Mm-hmm.
I'm coachable.
Mm-hmm.
What else we got?
So the next part is knowing what you're willing to risk. You have to take a risk assessment.
Okay.
Of yourself, right, and of your situation, right.
Right.
And
that's crazy, bro. Because every time you talk, I see like a part of me that wasn't meeting these standards, man. And now, just getting older.
So it used to be,
Yeah. Just getting old. I'm like, dang, cuz. Like, I'm gonna go ahead now.
Just imagine if you had somebody like giving you these principles when you were 17,
I
16.
probably did. I wasn't coachable.
You wasn't. So I got a question for you then. All right, I got a question for you. How do you get to the point where you're coachable?
I think you get to the point where I'm gonna go in my ET bag. You gotta want it as bad as you want to breathe.
Mm.
So now you just really kind of like, you see that being self-aware, like when you become self-aware, because you start looking in your environment, man, you starting to see like, yo, this ain't where I want to be.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're willing to do anything, to get out of the situation. So you begin to learn self-awareness, and you begin to be coachable, and that, then you started, with the risk assessments and stuff like that. So, yeah, man, like, but I struggled with the risk assessments because I got to a point where I got desperate and I was willing to do anything.
Right.
Not counting the cost.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and risking a lot, man. So, yeah, so I see that I had to work on that too.
Yeah, because a lot, and it's almost like this is like this skill right here is really like almost like to control your emotions skill. Mm-hmm. If that makes sense. Like,
yeah, it is. Yeah.
Because like again, like it could be good or bad. Mm-hmm. Hey, I'm willing to do whatever,
right,
to be successful, right?
Right.
Or you could be the other side of it. Man, I'm willing to do whatever. Right. To get out of my current situation, right? Running to versus running from, right?
Right.
But neither one of those are necessarily good.
Right.
Like you have to go ahead and set your benchmarks or your limits on how far you're willing to go to become successful or to get out of your situation.
I can only imagine, because I'm thinking about me being like in banking, like you being a leader, right? And you see like different employees doing different things, like to get promoted, like they're trying to cut the other one out of the picture or, somewhat diss the other one to put themselves and make themselves look. Yep. And you can see that like that looks like a character defect, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I use this example, right? Take somebody like in order to get promoted quick, or when I say in order to get promoted quickly, you can get promoted a lot faster if you're willing to move. Okay. Right? Like, send me anywhere. I go to California, I go to, Iowa, it don't matter, right? I will go anywhere, right? But there are people that, that don't, aren't willing to move that far, right? Well, hey, I got obligations. Maybe my kids are, in high school, and I wanted them to be able to kind of go through one high school. I wanted them to graduate from the high school I went to, or whatever it is, right? Right. And but you know your limit. So now your leader
Right.
can, like, they're not going to talk to you about a position that's in another state over.
Makes sense.
Because they know that this is what, like, so like if you don't know your limit,
Right.
your leader can't also, give you, feedback
Right.
to what is gonna, what I'm saying, get you to, because like at that point they're just wasting time. You're just wasting, and then it creates resentment from on your leader perspective because you haven't communicated to them that, what, actually I don't want to lead the city.
Right. Right.
So,
Dang, bro. So I see what you're saying now. It's like controlling your emotions.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to have some type of balance. As much as I really don't like that word,
Mm-hmm.
but you got to have some type of balance because on one end, one regard, if you're willing to do whatever,
Mm-hmm.
you just not really counting the cost.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But on the other end, you may not be risking nothing or just, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like you just not moving nowhere.
Yep.
You
Pump
know?
the brakes, man.
Yeah.
Just pump the brakes.
Yeah, yeah. So my thing is, and this is what I've been doing for so long, man, when it comes to the topic of risk assessment, I've been really just throwing it on God.
It's your fault, Lord.
I remember back in the day, man, like I would just make bad investments. And I think we talked about this on JTNS. I mean, spending $5 grand, 10 grand, like just bad investments. And I just put it out there, not doing research, not, assessing the risk. I was just, God, he gonna take care of me. He gonna take care of me, man. And, and then I get burnt. And I'd be like, Lord, I have faith in you. I trust you. I began to throw this on God. Until I read the scripture.
Okay.
Scripture of the day.
Ooh, let's go.
Scripture of the day. For all you Christians out there who just saying, God got me.
God got me.
Let me just be real.
I always like when somebody, because we have these protections on vehicles, right?
Uh-huh.
And, we'll walk them through why they should get it, right? Because in reality, if something happens, man,
Right.
why would you want to pay your insurance company
Yeah.
more money every single month for a car you never see again? It just don't make sense, right?
Nah.
And then one of my favorite rebuttals is God got me. Yeah, God sent me here to tell you about this. Like, let's not be foolish, Like let's be real.
Let me give you some wisdom here. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, if you go to Luke 14, we'll start at 28, 29. It says, suppose one of you wants to build a tower. Won't you first sit down and estimate the cost to see if you have enough money to complete it? For if you lay the foundation and are not able to finish it, everyone who sees it will ridicule you, saying this person began to build and wasn't able to finish.
How embarrassing is that?
So embarrassing, man. And this is Bible, bro.
Right.
You know what I mean?
right.
Like, it's so embarrassing. Like, and I had to come to grips and just say, okay, what am I willing to lose? What is there to lose? And what am I willing to pay? You know what I mean? To make this happen. And then I gotta look at, okay, what are the benefits if it does happen? Or if it don't happen, what's going to happen in my life?
Right.
So definitely risk assessment, And I think too that you've been, my leader, hypothetically, you would see that I have the ability to now make decisions, right? So like I kind of tie that in with decision making,
Yeah.
and some, to some degree, or whatever. So yeah,
Yep.
yeah. What you got? What's another skill? What number is this, by the way?
It's number 4.
Number 4. Okay.
Number 4.
Okay.
Man, your terminology has to be proficient.
Okay. Okay.
In other words, you gotta know the lingo, right? You gotta communicate well.
Right.
Nothing grinds my gears.
Talk to me, man.
No, but what it really is that sometimes, man, like you'll make a decision as a leader, or for my doobies out there, right?
Doobies.
Your leaders are making decisions,
Right.
but you haven't necessarily communicated with them on what's important to you and like if you got a different plan for something,
Right.
like letting them know, and it's affecting how you feel about whatever situation,
Oh, yeah.
and you maybe feel like your leader's not taking into consideration of your feelings or whatever, right?
Right.
But the reality of it is they just didn't know your feelings.
So
They didn't know your like. So you got to be able to, do that.
my bad. So just communication, period.
Yeah.
In general.
In general.
Like just knowing how to communicate and express yourself.
Yeah, because again, it kind of goes back to again controlling your emotions, right? Let's say that you are upset about something,
Right.
and you go to, your leader
Right.
all upset. Depending on who that leader is, they may not understand. Like, and especially like, because again, like we talk a lot about culture, right? Bringing the culture from corporate, and like as an African American,
Right.
you go to a Caucasian male in his 50s with, you say you're an African American female in her 20s, or African American male in his early 30s.
Right.
Y'all communicate differently.
Yeah, that's true.
So
Two different cultures. Yeah.
you have to understand like how to get the message across, so that way he can understand
Right.
what you're saying and how what you mean by it.
That's true.
And that's the part where you can get frustrated and you feel like you can't be yourself. No, you can still be yourself, but there's a way that you want to execute that message.
See, that's true. Going back to the communication piece and, communicating or expressing yourself, because I'm seeing there's two different dynamics and perspectives here too. Now, you've been the leader. You're dealing with 40 to 50 people.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you don't have this person interest at heart or you're not thinking about this person, but you have so many moving parts to your business. You know what I mean? Even an entrepreneur. So when somebody come and just dump all this on you,
Right.
like you taken aback because here it is. It's somewhat out of nowhere. It wasn't the move you made wasn't as obvious.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because you're doing so much. So when they come to you, it's like, man, what? So you being like, I don't want to say subordinate, but you being the employee, you have to understand your boss's position too.
Right. 100%.
And understand their language and understand how they communicate. Even talking about communication, understanding their vision. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if you want to get promoted, understand your leader's vision.
Yeah.
And
here's another thing: if you understand their vision, and I call it like know the game, fill the gap. Right? Know the game, fill the gap. So if you know your leader's vision and what they're trying to accomplish overall, right?
Right.
Know the game. Know what game they're playing.
Right.
Now you can start to fill gaps of the parts that's not going well.
I got you.
And now you become that leader's favorite person because you're helping kind of bridge everything together.
Right.
And it's gonna exalt you into your next position because now you become trusted. Now you're not even being you may be able to kind of skate around some of the stuff that you don't do well at.
Right.
Like just by doing that, it's crazy, bro. Like I'm telling you, man. Like this, and it's not just like it's in the world as a whole, right?
Yeah.
Like what they say, your network is your net worth.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And depending on your network that you have. Again, seeing the people that have like what are the gaps in there, what are they trying to accomplish?
Right.
And then if you can just again like bring value to that person, they're gonna always want you around. Like I was watching an interview, Rich Paul interview, and
On Your Leisure?
maybe it was On Your Leisure.
Okay.
I don't remember.
I saw a part of it. Okay.
But he was talking about how he met LeBron.
Okay.
And he was like, he got a check from LeBron, and he called. He was like, well, I got a check from him, like for it, I ain't what I need to be doing, like.
Right.
And LeBron told him, man, you don't need to do nothing, like don't worry about that, like I just need you around me, because when you're around me, I notice that my life is better.
Wow.
Because the way that he thinks.
Wow.
Right? Like
wow.
And there's value. There's value in like again, being yourself,
Right.
but also understanding what the vision is of your leader,
Right.
knowing the game, filling the gap.
That's enough right there. That's really enough right there, man. I mean, bro, that's enough. Filling the gap, man.
Filling the gap, man.
So bringing it back to communication of the lingo, so you just should know they lingo.
Yeah.
You know, I think the higher up you go, the bigger the picture or the vision or whatever. You know, when you're on ground level, you mainly doing manual work, but the higher up you go, it comes to bigger pictures. Like you're seeing like areas now. You know what I mean? You're seeing like regions, and I'm pretty sure you're looking at a map and you see your locations and what they're doing, and you know what I mean? You're looking at.
It ain't that intricate, but yeah.
Yeah. You know, stuff like that, man.
It sounds very sexy when you say it.
Yeah, man. You got to make it sound like the Matrix.
Right.
You know?
Like, just
Yeah. But so it's really a different type of lingo, communication, man. You just gotta understand that. So, and not let your feelings interfere. You know. But anyway.
Yeah, nobody don't care about your feelings. Just let you know right now. I'm just being honest with you, right? Like we got your leaders ain't got time to think about your in the nicest way, you know.
Right.
Like we're not gonna. Hopefully, I can't speak for all leaders, right? But a good leader, right? They're not gonna intentionally do something to hurt your feelings, right?
Yeah, true.
But at the same time, like don't take things so personally. Me and you just talking about how, like, I don't take things. I understand that life is transactional.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Like I understand that, like, and it's just some game for you guys, right? Every relationship you have, every single relationship you have is transactional. Whether it's your mom, whether it's your best friend, whether it's your kid, it's all transactional. When you pick up the phone and you call somebody, you're wanting something from them.
That's true.
Whether that's wanting them for a conversation, maybe you want to just see how they're doing.
Right.
Like you're wanting, there's a transaction that's happening with every single phone call
That's true.
that you make, or every single situation that comes up, right?
Right.
So understand that, and don't get so butthurt, right? That's just what it is, right? Like don't get so butthurt when somebody's quote unquote using you. So
we're using each other.
Yeah, everybody gets used.
Yeah, man.
Make sure that the relationship that you have with this person,
right,
is mutually beneficial.
That's what I call small thinking, man. When people,
yeah, like
you gotta think big. Anyway,
so get out your feelings. Nobody cares. So in the nicest way.
All right, man. We got number 4.
Sorry, I got
the lingo, terminology, communication. We'll just say that. What's number 5, man?
Number 5, fifth and final tip.
Okay.
To get into your next level leadership position is, man, you got to know your industry, right? Like kind of like you got to know the game, right?
Right.
In knowing the game, and you cannot go to your, let's call it a meeting, right? And again, networking, right? Let's say you're talking to, your boss's boss's boss, right? And they're asking you about whatever. Maybe it's your personal numbers, maybe it's the branches, the store's numbers,
right?
Whatever it is, right? You have to know those numbers,
right?
And what is least attractive, for somebody that is in a hiring position is you not understanding the I guess the game that you're in, or not understanding how to move a certain number. Because think about it, you're going from being just a person on the team to being a leader of the team.
Yeah, makes sense.
Right?
Makes sense. Right.
And if you're a leader of the team, I gotta know that you understand what a profit and loss statement is.
Makes sense.
I gotta understand, because this is for all my business people, right? Like I have to understand that you know how to change behaviors. Like You have to know the game. Like you have to know your numbers.
That's true.
And what's called like in if something goes wrong, do you know the processes to be able to turn it around and make it go right?
Wow.
Because I think that's the thing about numbers, right? Knowing your numbers is that's what people don't realize too about numbers, right? Numbers is nothing more than like it's nothing more than people's emotions and people's feelings. Think about analytics, right? Let's take YouTube for example.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah. Something I can relate to.
Yeah,
right?
like you got a click-through rate or a retention rate.
Man, what's
You know,
professional, man.
You know?
Go ahead.
And regardless of whatever your retention rate is, the only thing it is let's say that 20% of the people stop watching your YouTube after 2 minutes.
Right.
That's just saying that, like, oh my gosh, like you have to take that number. That number is not. The number is it's a reflection of what people are thinking.
Right. Yeah.
This no longer provides value for me. I'm going to the next thing.
Yeah. Let me stop. Right
That's
there.
what they're saying.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
So in order to solve that, okay, dang, how can I provide more value to the people further than 2 minutes?
Right.
You know?
Right.
How can I get, make it go from 20% to 40%,
so
from 40% to 60%, or whatever it is.
So these benchmarks, so these numbers are benchmarks, but still a replica of how people think and feel.
100%.
Dang.
100%. Every single number.
Dang.
That's all numbers represent, in my opinion, right?
Right.
And I don't please don't quote me on any like I don't know, like not accounting, because accounting is like business, but like like these math wizards and stuff.
Oh yeah.
You know, whatever. But like even think about like coding.
Yeah.
Right. Like numbers, they help like get the computer to do something a certain way.
Yeah.
Which is for the end consumer.
Now, if you want to go deep, bro, I can go there.
Talk to me.
Because them conspiracies, bro. They everything. They got a group out there that just think like everything in numbers. Like when a date hit and somebody do this certain amount of times, and it's crazy, bro. But anyway.
Yeah, I mean, you think of, dude, take it back to the Bible. Every number represents something.
Yeah.
Or I don't know, like 1 through 10, maybe, I don't know, 9 or something.
I just know 1 through 7, I think.
Okay.
Well,
8, because 8 is like a new beginning.
Yeah, new
right?
beginning.
7 is like completion, like number of completion.
Yep.
6 is like Satan's number.
Yep.
Right. I don't know what the rest of them are, but like
3 is no, they don't give me the line.
yeah,
but I know 3 is something.
But it's all emotions.
Yeah.
A new beginning.
Right.
Oh, like that's people. That's emotions. Like.
Right.
It's crazy. Like I'm telling you, man, it's crazy. But like we overcomplicate, fantasize about these things going up and down from a numbers perspective. But the reality of it is, you just gotta know what's driving the behavior.
Yep.
That's driving that number.
Yep.
And that's how you'll be able to impact it in a positive way.
Right. And knowing your industry.
Yep.
That's like me being an entrepreneur, and I just go into business, pricing something too high.
Yeah.
And not understanding what's the industry standards.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Or even understand the value that I'm offering.
Yep.
Because why would I price something high if I'm offering the same value?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. So
anytime you go into a new space, you should pretty much get like 3 quotes from somebody in that same industry and see what they're charging. And that's how you can base, because if you got one person charging $5,000, another person charging $7,000, and this other person charging $11,000.
Right.
Okay. Well, that means that I know I could price my business from $5,000 to $11,000. And it not be a big issue. But if I come in and I'm only charging $3,000,
right,
I'm cheating myself.
Ooh, yeah.
Like, don't cheat yourself, right?
That's true.
So again, when you go into these conversations with higher ups or whatever, right? You got to know your own personal numbers, and then you got to know why your numbers are the way that they are.
Right.
You know
what? Dang, I should have did this when I was an employee. Nah, real talk, because now I'm thinking like, bro, I'm looking at all the stuff that I did wrong. But yeah, like knowing my numbers, how it affected my brain. Because sometimes, okay, you can know your role, you can be coachable, but sometimes You can have the risk assessment piece. You can, what was the fourth one?
Terminology.
You can have the terminology, but sometimes you can't see past your own position.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I think that's where the being coachable part come in, because you begin to get more perspective.
Yep.
I should have just been more coachable, man. Like,
Say, man,
God,
being coachable will change. Like, I wouldn't be here today if I wasn't coachable.
it added to your perspective.
Yeah,
right?
like I just like, and that's what I was trying to tell somebody too, right? Like, I was already a flagship manager.
Mm-hmm.
I moved my new wife,
Mm-hmm.
and my newborn
Oh yeah.
2 hours away
Right.
to work in the same position.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Dang, I didn't
in a
think
different
about,
city.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Like,
That was strategic, though, right?
oh yeah, 100. It was strategic. Like it was brought to me by my leader.
Right.
Initially, I was like, I ain't, you know. And then once they explained it to me, right, and they told me it'll be good for my career, I did it, and I am where I am today.
Wow.
But a lot of people don't like, even they don't get it.
Wow.
They don't get it on how being coachable will get you to where you want to be a lot quicker.
Wait, you just tied everything into like that minor story. So, so you knew your position as a flagship manager.
Yep.
Because you knew your position, your leader, who then coached you into moving,
Yep.
which is a risk.
Yep.
A risk with your newborn and your new wife.
Yep.
To a city in the same position, because you was coachable enough to learn that that position was a good move for your career that you have today.
Yep. 100%. We getting on that.
Dang, nah, we ain't got no lyric of the day, man. We ain't got no lyric of the day.
Lyric of the day, man. Lyric of the day. So,
What we got, man? I want to let the cat out the bag. Should have let the cat out the bag.
cat out the
Yeah,
bag.
this whole episode is based on this.
Talk about it, man. Let's talk about it. Why not? Because again, we bridge culture and corporate.
So this whole conversation as strategic, I mean, it sounded natural, we know, but it came from a song that you came. I'm telling you, man, leadership and lyrics.
I'm telling you, man.
Telling you, but go ahead, bro.
People underestimate the strategy and the game in rap and in the streets.
Right. Yeah.
It is so underestimated.
Oh my gosh.
And there's a song called Trap by Boys in the Hood, the Jody Breeze and Jeezy. They're going back and forth, and you got the young person's perspective, and you got an older person's perspective,
Right.
or OG perspective, and it just learning. And this what leads us to the lyric of the week, right? It ain't about who bred the longest. It's about who can stay out in these streets the longest. Because you can get so caught up in trying to get what you want to get right now and make $100,000, $200,000 a year, whatever it is.
Right.
$1 million a year, whatever it is.
Right. Right.
And you're gonna make that $1 million for 2 years. Pandemic money.
Right.
And you done.
Right. Right.
Right, you ruined your brand because you didn't know your risk assessment.
Right.
Right, you know, people don't like you because you wasn't coachable. You just ran over people. Right, you didn't know your position. You offended a lot of people. Like, it's just, you got it the wrong way.
Oh my
Right.
gosh. Yeah.
So
yeah.
you have to, you know, and it's about longevity.
That's it.
And when you think about, and then we use this example too, right? You think about Martin Luther King.
Right. Right.
Right. Think about all the great things that he did, right? And specifically, like, let's take Selma for example, right? There's a movie, Selma, Martin Luther King. He's
Right.
going through, you know, obviously a lot as a civil rights leader.
Right.
But in this, you know, he had to be coachable.
Yeah, that's true.
And
So he had the skills.
he had the skills.
He knew his role.
He knew his role.
He was coachable.
He was coachable. Like he modeled this, right?
Right. I read his book. Even the peace protest was strategic.
Right.
Like, he knew he would get a lot of back.
What do you think he got the peaceful protest from?
Mahatma
Mahatma Gandhi.
Mahatma Gandhi. Yeah. Yeah.
coachable. Studying the game, knew the game, right?
Right.
He learned it, and I think it was another guy. I was it's like Thurman Thomas, I believe. Like he learned these tactics from other people. But then, because it's one thing to like, okay, like know that, but then what he also did was he had his spiritual mentor or close mentor, which was Benjamin Mays.
Okay.
Right. And Benjamin Mays was able to give him historical context on different things as well. So he got the strategy from Mahatma Gandhi, but he got the historical context and how it could affect in America from his close mentor Benjamin Mays.
It's crazy.
So like, I'm telling you, man, these five skills will take your career to this next level. Period.
I'm ready to get back hired. No, I'm just playing. I was just playing. No, you gonna hire me, man.
Come on, man.
Nah, man, we're gonna take these to the streets of YouTube, of business. Yeah, man.